What's up guys, Man Cave here again. On this video I'm going to show you how to mount these Vanquish SLW wheels into ridiculously large 2.2 tires. Now these ones are the SLW V2 1 inch. They're not the 135s or the smaller ones. You always want to be very sure when you put them on that the inside of the ring says, or the outside facing the spoked edge, the outside of the wheel is going to say VP on it. Now, they give you a lot of screws, no instructions, which is not a big deal, but it can be confusing. What you do is for your beadlock rings, you use these little button head screws. Now you're going to have a bunch of these screws laying around too, these little ball heads. These are used for screwing your rim to the hub, because you do have to use SLW hubs. But I'm going to show you guys how to mount these in, because it can be a little bit of a pain in the butt sometimes. What I always like to do is I'll take one of them, and it helps, I found, to put a little pressure from your hand behind. And by the way, for this one I'm using a Team Losi multi-wrench tool. But your outer beadlock ring screws and inner beadlocks are a 2mm hex. Now the screws that hold your hub to the wheel are a 3/32, which I like my little Losi tool because it locks in and will not slip out, plus it's magnetized too. And it allows for swivel on both ends. But back to the wheel, I found the easiest way to get this thing in is to start on opposing sides, get them started. Now the one thing with Vanquish wheels I must say is do not over tighten them, because if you strip out one of these you're done due to the aluminum threading on it. But once you get your two set up, I usually go ahead and place the remaining 4 screws in their respective holes. And then I'll go ahead and I will tighten all of them down, and we'll have one half of this tire assembled. Once you have those 2 that are in there, it kind of goes by a lot faster, because it'll line up all your holes, and all you gotta do is just tighten them down. But like I said, do not over torque these, because they will strip out. They will not back out. You don't have to use thread lock, but they will strip very easily. So now, as you can see, the rim is fairly far back recessed in that tire. What we're going to do is we're going to push. We're just going to push around the edge of the tire and get it to where that your bead locking clamp on your wheel is closer to the rim. Now, on this one, your inner ring, you want to make sure that the flat side is facing towards the tire. So once again, you line up your holes first to avoid screwing it up. And once again, we go with putting pressure from the front side of the rim and pressure from your tool. Start screwing that in. Do not screw it all the way yet. Go over to the exact opposite side so you still have room to play, and get that one centered. Then go ahead and drive that one in all the way, and once again the repeat step. You can go ahead and torque these ones down. Usually once it stops turning, it's pretty well snug enough. And once again we just go around the tire, fill in the holes. Sometimes they don't like to sit in there straight and they fall through, but that's the good thing. Unlike all the RC 4-wheel drive steely wheels I've done and had one of those little tiny screws, or not the screws, the little tiny hex nuts fall in between the 2 halves of the rim, and I'd have to take it apart just to get the screw back out. So once you've got all these down like this, as you can see, you've got a really kick-ass wheel mounted on a ridiculously large tire, and then you go ahead and, just for placement, you can go ahead and stick your 3/32 screws in here, and then when you go to change out your tires, like I'm going to do on Pork Chop, you've got a completed assembly. So I already did the other 3, so I've got a set of 4 of these, all pre-done with all the screws sitting in them. Now here's the one thing also, you're going to have leftover screws. Do not throw them out. If you ever need one, you've got a few backup screws. I actually have a container that's specifically just extra Vanquish screws, since I do have a large amount of money in Vanquish, which I have to personally thank the Mad Dog Madigan for that one. He really pushed me over the edge with VP once I saw all the things that could be done. And here's Pork Chop sitting, which still needs some final tweaks done to it. What I'm going to do is I'm basically real quick going to change out a tire. Now granted, mine I have to use a special tool because I do have the Rogue Element hubs. You figure when you put a tool somewhere that is a special use tool that you would be able to find it easily. Such is not the case, my friends. While I'm searching for this tool, I want to clear up a little bit of crap that's been floating around lately. As you can see, I am wearing an RC Sparks t-shirt. I didn't do that on purpose, just for the video. I know there's been some back and forth about the Pork Chop video, and all it is basically just a bunch of petty drama, which neither side, me nor Medic, have any problem with each other whatsoever. I want to put that right out in the air, make it crystal clear that we have no problems with each other. There's no beef or anything going on. It's just, I thought that it was finally time, given my subscribers and everything, that it was time that I branched off and started promoting the Man Cave brand or logo. So that was my reasoning, and plus with Pork Chop being a custom rig that was built first off the chassis from Jerry at DMG, and Norm from Team 36, Big Dogs for the propane tank on it, and Bowtie for the custom interior kit. I figured that it was only appropriate that I was to make that an RC Crawler exclusive full build thread. Not that I was trying to be a dick or anything, because that's the last thing I want to do. But I'm going to go ahead right here and stop all the confusion that seems to be running around. There is nothing wrong between me and Medic. I still have a lot of respect for the guy. He puts out killer videos. He's running his RC community. He's got a lot on his plate, and he still manages to deliver kick-ass videos. I just really want to make it 100% crystal clear that there is no issue. But like I said, I just felt it was time to start promoting my own brand rather than sitting around with my thumb in my butt. which we all know doesn't get you anywhere. So, with that aside, there's the difference now, as you can clearly see, between a 1.9, or not 1.9, a 2.2 TSL Interco IROK. Well, these aren't even TSLs. These are the IROK Super Swampers versus the TSL Super Swampers. Big difference. Now, I might change my mind and swap out to the blue rings on the black rims and black rings on the machine rims. But already I can see this is going to be a killer tire for the rig. But there you go, guys. That's how to install Vanquish wheels onto pretty much any type of tire, but especially an oversized tire such as the IROK 2.2. So there you have it. Later, guys.